Okay, so wherever we have the x in the f of x, remember we're going to replace it with the g of x. So, in place of the x squared, we'll put the 2x minus 4. And then continue with the minus 3. You've got another x. Replace it with the 2x minus 4. And then continue with plus 2. All right, how are you going to multiply out the 2x minus 4? What method? You're going to use, yes, yes, you can do it that way, the pattern. If you know the pattern for perfect square, absolutely. Another method would be to do what? FOIL. All right, so let's multiply that out. So your 2x times 2x would be 4x squared. Your outer, 2x and negative 4, negative 8x. What's your inner? Also negative 8x. So combine those. That would be negative 16x. And your last, negative 4 and negative 4, positive 16. What are you going to do with that negative 3? Okay, and that's going to give you a what? Negative 6x and a positive 12. And don't forget your 2. Okay, now you're ready for combining any like terms that you have. Let's start with the 4x squared. Any other x squares? No. So that'll come down. All right, we'll just cross them out. How about some x's? Yes. We've got one here and one here. What'd that give you? Yes. All right, let's cross them out. And now we have 3 numbers left, 3 constants. 16 plus 12 plus 2, 30. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so now we're going to subtract them. So our new f of x is 4 over x. So 4 over x minus our new g of x is a 2x over x minus 2. All right. These are both rational expressions. Think about what we did at the end of Algebra 2 last year. What's the first thing we're going to have to find? What? Well, and what are you doing when you do that? You're actually finding the what? No. In order to add or subtract fractions, we have to have what? Common denominator. Okay? So that's kind of what you're doing. I understand it. All right, so we need a common denominator. We have an x here, and here we have an x minus 2. You might want to put that in parentheses so you don't try to split it up. So what are we going to use to represent the x? X. And what are we going to use to represent the x minus 2? X minus 2. So what's your common denominator? X minus. We have to use them both, right? Okay, so let's come over here and move them on over. So we have x over x minus 2. Okay, so we're going to go back and multiply through with those special ones. So what did you multiply here with the x to give you the common denominator? X minus 2. So if you multiplied by x minus 2 in the denominator, we do the same in the numerator. So what would that give you? 4x minus 8. Then we have minus. Let's do it again. What did you multiply with the x minus 2 to give you your common denominator? X. So we have to do the same to the numerator. 2x times x would be 2x squared. Let's clean this up. Always put it in descending order. So we'll do negative 2x squared. Plus 4x minus 8 over our common denominator of x times x minus 2. So we're going to do this one. So now what we're actually going to do is we're going to take the f of 1, and this operation is what? What operation is this one? Product, multiplying. So f of 1 times the g of 1. All right, so let's do that. So evaluate f of x for 1. So that would give you 4 over 1, which would just be 4. Now the g of 1, so that would be 2 times 1 over 1 minus 2. What would that give you? 2 over what? Negative 1. And 2 divided by negative 1 would be negative 2. Okay? And now let's do what we were supposed to do. So this was 4 and times the negative 2 for a total of negative 8. And there you go. So a little different, right? This one's actually, to me, a little bit easier because you don't have the x in there, and it makes it a little bit easier to simplify. All right, so here's what you have. You have, we're putting f into g. So we would have, in the numerator, you would have 2 times the 4 over x. And in the denominator, you have the 4 over x minus the 2. Okay? In the numerator, 2 times 4 is 8, so you have 8 over x. In the denominator, you can rewrite that as 2 over 1. What's the common denominator? X, right? So come on over here, put it down there. What did you multiply with x to give you x? 1. In other words, it didn't change, so 4 times 1, it didn't change. Bring it over. What did you multiply with the 1 to give you an x? X. So you do the same thing here. Multiply that by x, multiply that by x. So that would give you a what? Minus 2x. Okay? Now you're going to rewrite it. So this is going to be 8 over x divided by the 4 minus 2x over x. And what did I say? Division is the same as what? Multiplying by the reciprocal. So you would have 8 over x times x over the 4 minus the 2x. So your x's can cancel. Down here you can factor out the 2. That would leave you with 2 minus x. And then the 2 and the 8 can simplify down, and 8 would become a 4. Is that right? So what's our final answer? What did we have left in the numerator? 4. And what do we have left in the denominator? 2 minus x. 2 minus x. And there it is.